Who is that goofy looking kid? Why, it's me, Stephen Stink, in a school photo in 1965. At that time, I was pronounced an academic failure by the Unified School District and my parents. My schoolmates used to pick on me and beat me up. 2 decades later, something happened. So, you ask yourself, how did this whole thing get started? Well, sister and brother, it started at my October 27, 1979 concert at MacArthur Park in Los Angeles, California, Rock Against Racism. This unscheduled band were a last-minute addition to the lineup. They were a political cult band for this Mickey Mouse organization. They almost ruined the whole concert. On February 7th, 1980, in the conference room, which you see on your screen, in Plummer Park, is where we had, well, three of us had the concept of a band. And that circle is where I stood with Matt from Pomona and Bill Sassenberger. And I was complaining about that Maoist band. So Matt from Pomona came up with an idea which would change the course of my life, the history of my life. And it went like this. So Matt suggested, why don't you start a band, the official band for Rock Against Racism? You know, like the White Panthers did with the MC5. I said, oh, great idea. Well, what should we call this band? And he said, how about Benedict Arnold and the Traitors? I said, where'd you get that name? And he said, from Batman, or maybe was it Get Smart? So I mulled it over for a while. I said, not a bad idea. So February 7th, 1980, at the conference room in Plummer Park, Benedict Arnold and the Traitors was born. And that's how the idea started. This is the Ipster Times. It became Overthrow later in the 70s. They used to have a listing in back of the paper of various contacts of your state. And that's where I found Tim Conspiracy and Bill Sassenberger. This is Tim Conspiracy. I met him in 1979 during the Doodah Parade. He was a RAR contact. Well, one day I planted an idea in his head, maybe we'll start a band. And I've been knowing this guy, and we've been arguing ever since 1979. He's a drummer, and he acts like a drummer. Thank you. This handsome-looking gentleman is Cash Cobra, and I was introduced to him by Tim Conspiracy. He has quite a dynamic personality, to put it lightly. And he now lives in Thailand. I guess he owed a lot of money to the IRS, and well, someday he'll get back to the States. I don't know when. The curly hair guy with his family, the two blonde boys, well, that is J.D. Joel. How I got him was he went to the RAR concert the 27th '79, and he asked me at the table when I was sitting at the table if they could use a guitar player. Well, I got his name off the list, and one day I invited him to our rehearsal, and that's how he became part of the band. Turned out he had an argument with Tin Conspiracy one time in front of a movie theater. I forgot what the movie was. Nice guy, Joe. This mysterious guy circled over there, that's Bad Brad. It turned out he lived only 2 blocks from my house in Hollywood. He was good friends with Top Jimmy, a blues singer in L.A. He was quite a mysterious guy. I never knew anything about him. He always told me, look, you never saw me, okay? You never saw me. So I haven't seen him for years. Howdy! The photo you see there is my former duplex where I used to live in Hollywood. And that was 1249 Citrus. It was near Fountain. It was right in back of the Jack in the Box in Hollywood. This is where I composed a lot of the Traitors songs, early songs. And I used to have this nylon string guitar, and I wrote most of my songs on it. Originally, I wrote it in 1979. It was originally called Fuck the Hostages, but to make it more airplay friendly, I put kill. Because kill, after all, is just an acceptable word. So, I used to have this Sears tape recorder. And during the 70s, I used to record all these folk songs on it. Now I can't even listen to it, the old cassette tapes, because they're outright embarrassing. And in certain ways, this demo you're about to hear is kind of embarrassing too. Back then I was an angry young man, and I was full of rhetoric and sloganeering and blah blah blah. So, enjoy this rough version, early version of Kill the Hostages, recorded on a Sears cassette tape recorder. I think May 30th, 1980, before I presented it to the band.
And that's the way it is, May 22nd, 1980, the 3 million day for the captivity of those American hostages. And this is Walter Conkright saying, good evening. Hey Walter, I got the solution to clean up this mess once and for all. Kill the hostages, make them into sausages. Kill the hostages, cut them up into little hostages, sausages, oh, destiny cows. Iran's got America by the balls. Gouge out the eyes, the CIA spies, destiny calls. Iran's got American pills by the balls. Put them on trial, watch my face. I got a big smile, destiny calls. Iran's got America by the balls. Now kill the Shah, kill Khomeini. I want revolution, not Allah. Come on, kill Iran, kill Khomeini, kill the Shah. Iran's got America by the balls. Destiny calls, kill your little sausages. Destiny calls. Iran's got America by the balls. Kill the hostages. Now Iran sucks. Iran sucks. American imperialist blood. American imperialist blood. I'm just anti-America. Anti-American stick in the mud. Destiny calls. Iran's got America by the balls. Kill the hostages. Kill the hostages. Make them your little sausages.
This is Sunset Tower Records. This is where we sold about 10 records. They had a carousel of so-called alternative records, singles, 45s, and we had ours on display there. Sometimes I would have to come back. Somebody would hide the records and put their records in front of ours, and I would have to put it back so ours would be visible again. But yeah, the Jello Biafra brought a copy here at this very location. Next is where we recorded Kill the Hostages on Western and Hollywood Boulevard in this building. In the 1930s, this is where Central Casting used to be. But one time we recorded there in a 4-track format in a little small business called Studio 9 Sound Labs. It was a very dilapidated building. The elevators didn't work, and we had to carry our equipment up the stairs. And that was no fun. Half of the building was empty and was full of homeless people sleeping in empty offices. It was quite an environment to be recording in. But this is the place. You see that Dennys? Yeah, that's where I met Rodney. He used to eat there every morning to have breakfast. Rodney Bingenheimer was this DJ, had this popular show on Sunday. Well, I trotted down there, and I handed him the record. He even invited me to have breakfast with him. But I said, no thank you, I just ate. And then I went on my merry way after handing him the record. Contrary to popular belief, Rodney Bingenheimer was not the first to play a record. It was this gentleman, Richard Meltzer. He had a small radio show on KPFK called Midnight Rock between 12 o'clock to 6 o'clock in the morning. He'd mostly just talk about wrestling. But when he played it, the song before us was the Sex Pistols. Then our song was played around 3 in the morning. That following day, Rodney did play Kill the Hostages. But you see, he was on a commercial station. KPFK was a listener-sponsored station. But KROQ, Rodney's station, was a powerful station with a lot of wattage. So, it was Richard Meltzer was the one who first played it. And allegedly, Dr. Demento played it, but I never heard it on his show. To promote the record, I drove all over town and trying to go to these independent record stores and have the record on consignment. I also used the U.S. mail to mail it to fanzines and magazines. Well, it started to get around, and we did catch on. One store, Vinyl Fetish, on La Brea, had the record on display, but then they decided not to sell it, and they handed back 10 copies back to me. They said, this is not the type of record we want to sell at this store. Well, so much for punk. On May 2nd, 1980, at Plumber Park, Benedict Arnold and the Traitors played our first set, our first gig we ever played. It was at the multi-purpose room at this very building, which was in Plumber Park. There was a handful of people who saw us. There's Scott Thomas Lowe and Jerry Rubin, who were in attendance. This guy, Top Jimmy, hyped our show on the Rodney Bingenheimer show, and he was sitting with members of X. We played the full set, but then the girls that I invited showed up late. And of course, one of the many things you like to do when you're in a band is to show off in front of girls. So I convinced the band to replay a song, and that song was Red Alert. It was an okay gig. It was our first concert, and we didn't sound terrific, but we didn't sound bad neither. And I was afraid that the people at the park would chase us away because we weren't allowed to be playing loud punk music at the park. So I don't think live music was permitted there, but we got away with it. And that, my friends, was the very first Benedict Arnold and the Traitors gig in our Lord 1980.
A, B, C, D. Red alert, a trotsky, I just got hurt. You know I couldn't decide whether to go to Oceanside. I'll forget about the formality. This is your sad reality. Forget about the formality. This is your sad reality. Do I smell a skunk? Do I smell a skunk on the Huntington Beach walk? Acting like middle class trash, spitting at the clash. Forget about formality. This is your sad reality. Forget about formality. This is your sad reality. Oh, look out, the mountains, they got their claws. They'll rip into you with their little anti-drug laws.